How's it going, everyone? AFC Finners, and we are back in Stoke for the second time this season to see what feels like a prime Barclays fixture in Stoke City against Blackburn. Hello, Tom.
Hello.
It's been a long journey, but looking forward to it. I remember, obviously, Stoke and Blackburn being in the Premier League very well. The prime Tony Pulis side, who I saw once in a game against Aston Villa. Really hoping that one day we'll see them both back in the Premier League. But it's going to be a good day. We've walked around this ground once when we passed through Stoke, and home side have been on a good run of form. Can they continue it today? We'll have to see. Let us walk to the stadium. So, walk through a tunnel on the other side. There it is, Stoke City. Excited?
Yeah.
Good man. Oh yeah, and also, as you may have seen, we received our gifts, a mud flat mat. I'm representing him today with the Phoenix Rising shirt. Thank you once again for your gifts. Have they named a bar after Ricardo Fuller? I love that. There he is. Respect from a fellow Stanley. So good they cloned him twice. Respect to Stanley. Yeah, then. Let's get some nice stuff. Lead on, Tom. Just been to a club shop, got myself a pin mount for around $3.50 on the Black Friday sale, and a book on Neil Franklin, who, when a lot of English players went to Columbia for the Pirate League, he was the man behind it all. I intend to do a video on this topic at some point soon, because what the teams? I'm not sure which one. It's Blackburn. Now, on to another England legend. Late great Gordon Banks, the man who could have saved the Titanic. Steve, how long have you been coming to watch Stoke play?
Oh, since 1974.
Oh, brilliant. And in all that time, what's your best memory?
Probably at Wembley for the FA Cup semi-final.
Ah, brilliant. That was a special day. So how long have you been supporting Stoke?
Well, I kept an eye on them for years, but when I finished work about 6 years ago, I bought a season ticket, and a friend of mine who worked with me, we both come and we sit together now. So
Yep.
we don't go to many away games because of time and grandchildren and everything, but you know, we don't miss a home game if we can possibly avoid it.
Good on it. And in your time following Stoke, what has been your best memory?
I just think it's a well-supported team, and it's well backed by the owners. You know, they put a lot of money into this club. You know, when you see inside, the quality of all the seating's been replaced, the pitch is relaid every year. It's immaculate. They get behind it. They put money in it.
Obviously, Stoke have been removed in the Championship in recent years, but you've also got Alex Neil in charge now, who's won 2 promotions so far in his career, and you're on a good run of form, 3 wins in a row. How are you feeling about the future under him?
It's looking better now. Wasn't too sure last year, or even beginning of this, but we're getting there now. We're getting there.
Well, he's rebuilt the team. He's weeded out the ones that weren't up to what he wanted as a standard. Brought some new ones in, and they're getting better because they've never played together before. They've just thrown into the team, and they've just got to learn how to do it. And they're getting there now. They're unbeaten in 5, I think. So fingers crossed that we should get up towards the playoffs.
The Groundhoppers, such as myself, when they come to the Bet365 Stadium, what can they expect to find in the matchday experience?
So I'm hoping for a good atmosphere. Now we're on a bit of a run. Let's get behind them today and another 3 points hopefully.
You should get a lot more noise than we've had over the last 6 or 8 months, because it used to be a very noisy stadium. Other teams are frightened because of the noise we used to make, and it's coming back. So you get the atmosphere, and then the team feel that everybody's behind them, and that's what you need.
And finally, what is your prediction for today?
I'll go 2-1.
2-1. Let's hope you're proving right.
Should be, I'd say 2-0.
Okay, let's hope
At home for Stoke.
Brilliant. Well, let's hope you're proving right.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. Well, picked up a nice programme, £3. Got team sheets on the back. Can't complain. So, we're about to go inside, but before we do, let's find out a bit about today's hosts, Stoke City. Stoke City was said to have first played football in 1863, but were officially founded in 1868 by Henry Elmond as Stoke Ramblers. They would later change their name to Stoke Football Club, and were one of the founding members of the Football League in 1888. They struggled at first, briefly falling down to Football Alliance, and later went bankrupt in 1908, being forced to play in non-league. They had rejoined the Football League after the First World War. After Stoke was granted city status in 1925, they became Stoke City FC. In the 1930s, the club gave a debut to an apprentice who would go on to be their greatest ever player, whose name was Stanley Matthews. He helped them win the second division in 1933, and Matthews' impressive performances saw big crowds come to Victoria Ground, which helped them build as a club. The other side of World War II began with tragedy though, as 33 fans died during a crush, and Stoke played an FA Cup tie away to Bolton Wanderers. They also suffered heartache by missing out on the First Division title to Liverpool on the final day in 1947, and Stanley Matthews joined Blackpool towards the end of the season. They were relegated in 1953, but 8 years later, Stanley Matthews had rejoined the club. Matthews was 46 by this point, but still helped the club out as they achieved promotion in 1963, and they reached the League Cup final the next year, but would lose to Leicester. They signed World Cup winning goalkeeper Gordon Banks in 1967, and they had their greatest moment. Tony Waddington would manage the club to victory over Chelsea, in front of almost 100,000 fans at Wembley, as the club finally won their first, and to date only, major trophy. Damage to their ground from a storm forced the club to sell players to cover the bill, and this led to them being relegated, as well as Tony Waddington leaving the manager's job after 17 years in the dugout. They returned to the top flight in '79 and remained there until 1985, despite going through 3 different managers whilst there, and suffered further relegation to third tier under Alan Ball in 1990. Lou Macari took over and guided the club to victory with the 1992 Football League trophy, and this was followed by promotion the next year. In 1997, Stoke moved to their current home, the Britannia, but they were relegated back to third tier at the end of the season. Under Icelandic manager Gurjan Pororarsson, they won the Football League trophy for a second time in 2000. He got them promoted 2 years later, but astonishingly was sacked 5 days after winning the playoff final. Tony Pulis kept the club up during his first spell there and returned in 2006. In 2008, Pulis guided them to second place in the Championship, and they became a Premier League team for the first time. Stoke were written off by many, but Pulis' side made their home stadium a place opponents feared to come to, and they were renowned for their direct and physical style of play. Their first season in the Premier League saw them finish 12th, and they had impressive wins over Tottenham and Arsenal during their first Premier League season. They became an established Premier League side and would have a grand day out in 2011 as they reached the FA Cup final against Manchester City, thanks to an impressive 5-0 win over Bolton Wanderers in the semi-finals. Sadly, a goal from Yaya Toure would win the cup for the Sky Blues and leave the Potters empty-handed. This would see them qualify for the UEFA Cup, in which they reached the knockout rounds. Pulis remained at Stoke until 2013, when he departed by mutual consent. He was replaced by Mark Hughes, and they would bring in luxury players over the next few years, such as Xherdan Shaqiri, Bojan and Ibrahim Afellay. However, many of these signings flopped, and whilst Hughes had led the club to 3 consecutive 9th place finishes, he was sacked after nearly 5 years in charge, after a poor run of form. Their 10 years in the Premier League came to an end when they were relegated in 2018. They've remained in the Championship since, and have had disappointing league finishes in this period, with their highest finish being 14th. They're hopeful of rebuilding and one day returning and making their ground a Premier League fortress once more. Overall, they have won 2 Second Division titles, 2 Third Division titles, 1 Football Alliance title, 1 Birmingham District League title, 2 Southern League Division 2 titles, 2 Football League trophies, and 1 League Cup. And a bit of trivia, legendary Sky Sports presenter Chris Kamara had a spell as manager of Stoke in 1998, winning 1 of his 14 games in charge. So those are our hosts, Stoke City. Let's have a look inside their home, the Bet365 Stadium. Right, something I've never seen before. You can play FIFA in the stadium. It's also got table football and an arcade game. This is incredible. Mini golf too. Gosh, that's unique. So, we've decided to go for a local delicacy of a cheese oatcake. Also got a vegan sausage roll. They've got a superb veggie range here. So and this was only $6.50. That's not too bad. I've seen places where 1 pie costs sometimes even more than that. Let's give it a try. So, cheese oatcake, local delicacy. Never tried it before. Delicious. Cheese and pancake, can't complain. That's very nice. Play Stoke, you got a nice local delicacy. Lovely artwork on show here. Time to go to our seats.
Now for the starting 11.
There we are then. Stoke. I've seen this so many times on Match of a Day. Here we go, in our seats before the game. Tom, how are you feeling? It's been a lovely day. Fair play. I think Stoke is one of the best places to come to watch football. We had a good time in Port Vale, already having a good time today. It's so good to see a ground I grew up watching on Match of the Day. Tom, what was your favourite memory of Stoke when they were in the Premier League?
Peter Crouch goal.
Peter Crouch goal for me too. Just over there, that would have happened. Prime Barclays. Bartend around the FIFA lovers, steal what they need like sisters and brothers. Okay, so Stoke, I enjoyed the oatcake. Now let's try your vegan sausage roll. Let's see how it compares to Greg's. Oh my. It's heavenly. No, I feel like I'm in a 6-star hotel with the food here. Good stuff. Lovely sunny day. Smile, Tom. What are you doing?
In goal, number 13, Jeff Bonham.
Four minutes in, it's a away side take lead. Scott Wharton's headed it, it's bounced off the post and gone in. Blackburn have been a better side, Limbs in the away end, deserved, 1-0. The half time here at the Bet365 Stadium on a very cold afternoon, and it's been very disappointing from Stoke. They've been very poor. The defence couldn't block someone on Facebook. Blackburn keep getting in behind, and the fact it's only one has really surprised me. They keep running in, but just haven't quite made the chances count apart from the one goal. Yeah, it's got to be some team talk from Alex Neil if they're going to get anything out of this. Blackburn have set superbly defensively, and Stoke just cannot break through. I think Blackburn will win, have to be proven wrong. Half time, 1-0. Midway through second half, Stoke have had a majority of the ball but aren't doing anything with it. Hasn't changed drastically. I think chances are this will remain 1-0. What do you think, Tom? Having fun? With just over 5 minutes to go, Blackburn doubled their lead, no less than they deserve. Ball has fallen to Andy Moran and he's tapped it in. The away fans go wild. Hello. 2-0. As we enter added time, Blackburn have the cherry on top. Sismodix was played in. He had the whole Stoke half to himself. He surrounded the keeper, slid it in. 3-0 to the away side. full time at the Bet365 Stadium, and it's a well-deserved win for Blackburn. Sadly, Stoke just never really looked like scoring, and I think when it was 1-0 it was flattering Stoke, and Blackburn ended up sealing it once and for all. But yeah, very disappointing from the home side. Hopefully they can get their form back on track, climb up the table, but if anyone's going to be climbing up the table after these two from today's performance, it looks like it'll be Blackburn. Stoke have got a lot of work to do. Full time here, it's the Lancastrians with the 3 points and the 3 goals. Stoke 0, Blackburn 3. So we're back in the car on a cold Saturday night in Stoke. I had a really fun day. It's a shame about the result for the home side, but it's really good to take that ground off, considering, like I said, how often I saw it on the telly growing up. Hopefully they can turn their form around. We've done both of the major grounds in Stoke this season. Maybe we'll be back for non-league games in the future. But we're going to head home now on the long journey home. But good to take that ground off. Tom, anything to say?
Bye.
Thought it'd be the same. So, time for me to head home and warm up. But first, let's rate the experience. So, we will start off, as always, with welcome. And this is something they did very well with. Really nice set of fans. Everyone I spoke to, I got on really well with. I didn't feel uncomfortable as a neutral. And you obviously saw in a lot of the clips, people were kind of waving to the vlog. But it wasn't in a hostile way. It was kind of in a joking, engaging way. And that kind of made me feel comfortable, because I often, like when I'm in big crowds like this, can feel a bit self-conscious vlogging, but didn't really feel uncomfortable there. I was able to engage with them. The club really does go to a lot of effort to make you feel welcome. They have a lot going on outside. Having FIFA games, mini golf, table football inside the ground is such a brilliant touch. I've never seen anything like that at a ground, but it's the club really going out of its way to make people feel welcome and add to the matchday experience. So I absolutely commend them for that. That's superb, innovative thinking. Again, that I've not seen anywhere else. And, you know, all the artwork everywhere, paying homage to the history of the club. I think they've really gone to a lot of effort to make you feel welcome, and it was a really nice fan base to be around. So I think I'll give the welcome a 9 out of 10. Food and drink, this is something I will also rate very highly, because sometimes I get frustrated with the veggie options, but here they had many different ones available, and you know, you could also try a local delicacy in oatcakes, which obviously that region of the country is famous for, and it was absolutely delicious. The vegan sausage roll was also nice. So there's multiple options for vegetarians such as myself, and the vegan sausage roll is something obviously vegan friendly, but also works for veggies, and I'm sure it's something that people who aren't vegetarian or vegan could also enjoy. And it was very reasonably priced. It only cost me about £6 to get both the oatcake and the vegan sausage roll. And there were plenty of places outside the ground to get food as well. So it's incredibly well thought out. And honestly, it did exactly what it needed to do. I can't fault the food and drink. So I'm going to give the food and drink a 10 out of 10. Atmosphere, unfortunately, this one did disappoint me a bit, because growing up, Stoke to me was renowned for having a very good atmosphere. When they're in the Premier League, people said they were like statistically the loudest crowd, but I think I heard about 3 chants from Stoke fans. It was the Blackburn supporters that were making all the noise in terms of chanting. Like, Stoke fans weren't by any means quiet, like they still were very vocal in encouraging the team and all that, but it was disappointing how little chanting there was, and that really surprised me. I didn't think it was going to be noise the level they would have produced in the Premier League, but I thought there would be something in terms of chanting. It wasn't flat or quite a thing, it just wasn't the atmosphere I expected. So unfortunately, I will give the atmosphere a 5 out of 10. Stadium, it gets an excellent ground. It's very well thought out. You get a good view wherever you are, and really nice stadium to look at. They had, 2 screens, and just seems like a really good place to watch football. It doesn't seem like there's a bad place to sit. It's really well thought out outside the ground as well in terms of statues, and very good location. Obviously, one of those gaps, they put a screen in, so that does help fill it in a bit. I remember the one to the left of where I stood used to have a gap in it, but they filled that in a few years ago. I think they could probably do with doing that for the corner opposite me on the left. It's not a glaring issue. I think it's a really good ground that is certainly a sustainable one and can only be improved. So I'll probably give the ground an 8 out of 10. And finally, value for money. The ticket was about £30, which obviously isn't a price I like a championship game being, but I think in terms of, again, the stadium and the overall experience we got, I didn't feel like I'd wasted my money. And apart from that, I felt it was actually quite cheap compared to other grounds, because again, £6 for 2 pastries is really good for a club of this level, especially one that's recently been in the Premier League. It's only £3 for a pin badge, £2 for a Coke. I wasn't being ripped off at all. I remember like when I went to, for example, West Ham Stadium for a Green Day concert, I paid like £8 for a burger that was absolutely tiny and had to go back and get further food. So it was like reasonable prices. It's like I probably a tiny bit more than I pay for those in like a regular shop. Even if £30 is a lot for a match day ticket, they certainly balance it out with how much other things cost. So I'll probably give the value for money an 8 out of 10. So that was the Bet365 Stadium, home of Stoke City. Really enjoyable day, well worth the journey, and thank you Tom Aldo once again for taking us all this way. It's great to see that ground. It's like, you know, grounds you grew up watching on the telly, to actually see them in the flesh is such a great experience, and I do hope I can come back and see Stoke get a more positive result. But thank you to the fans I interviewed. Thank you to everyone who made it a good day. You've been able to get good ratings all round. It's just a shame you couldn't get the result. But hopefully Alex Neil can turn it around for you guys this season. So all the best, Stoke. Thank you for a lovely day. I've been AFC Finners. Thank you all for watching. See you next time, and stick with us as we go ground to ground. AFC Finners out.